Hello, good morning to you all. This is Dr. D. Srinivasa Rao, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Information Technology of VJEC. Today, we are going to be discuss on Introduction to Data Mining from the subject titled Data Mining. Data means unorganized, unstructured. When mining is defined as extracting from the source what we have. Though we have emerging courses and the terms which we are listening to, hearing to, like machine learning, AI, data mining is also the member belongs to the same family and which is providing great many services. In this session, we will see what do you mean by data mining, what is the purpose of the data mining, what specific advantages we are obtaining from them, what are the different areas where we can apply data mining, and how our data mining is different or associated with machine learning and artificial intelligence. Here we will see the important word called pattern, which is obtained from data mining techniques, and what do you mean by that, how many types of patterns are there, and how they are contributing in this particular subject. Data mining have different definitions which are defined by different people, but all of them are summarized, associated with key important components which are important for different applications. Here we will see the first one, where it is a process of automatically searching, analyzing, and extracting hidden, previously unknown, and actionable patterns from large data set. So here we have the keywords like searching. So here we are trying to get important pattern from the large database. We are analyzing it, we are discussing on it, and we are extracting hidden, which we have not seen earlier. It can be important information, it can be a summarized one from which decisions can be made. Here we have the keyword called pattern. So based on the pattern, we can take some decisions. We have the capability of recognitions, and some summarizations are possible. The face itself is a pattern to recognize this is so and so. The signature is a pattern to say who authenticated it. The thumb impression is a pattern. Like that, the every associated information useful for recognition or decision making is called a pattern. Then the second definition, here it is, the efficient discovery of previously unknown, not seen earlier, valid, giving some weightage value to the potentially useful for the decision making, and understandable patterns in large data sets. So here we are looking at the important information, which is valid information and useful for successor process, for decision making, for recognition, for maybe for prediction, maybe segmentation, maybe for analyzing it. These are important patterns which we are able to extract from the large data set. Then the third definition, here it is, it's analysis of observational data sets to find unsuspected relationships and to summarize the data in novel ways that are both understandable and useful to the data owner. So here we have source where data set size is very huge and can be unorganized, can be unstructured. By using these data mining techniques, we are able to identify important patterns through which the decisions can be made without any doubt. So it uses computational techniques from statistics, machine learning, which can be used for classification, regression, clustering, and also stating that answering to the given question like reinforcement learning, and database systems to turn the raw data into a useful pattern. That raw is unstructured, unorganized, and can't be interpreted. But comes to useful knowledge is interpretable, is more summarized, is more meaningful, and which are used for decision making. So the primary purpose of data mining is to transform the raw data into actionable knowledge, which is more important, more summarized, and useful for taking the decision and performing the recognitions or classifications or predictions or clustering or analyzing to drive informed decision making. Also, it uncovers hidden patterns, the trends involved, and correlations that human analysis cannot spot manually. So, without data mining, we can't identify what is the trend happening and what are the decisions can be made, what are the important patterns are involved. So, to get important patterns, to know the trend, like what are the different zoners of the viewers with respect to the OTT, what are the different clustering segments available in the Amazon onlining facilities. And here we too provide the simplified process, we to provide some meaningful information to the end user through data mining process. There are great many core business advantages from data mining, which are accurate forecasting, customer segmentation, fraud detection, optimized operations, and competitive edge. These are the great many facilities which we can expect from data mining, which may not possible with the conventional system, and where the manual interaction is required. It takes a lot of time, lot of efforts are required to get all these facilities. So to provide these facilities in a smooth manner, we to apply data mining techniques. The first one, accurate forecasting. So forecasting means predict the tomorrow's temperature based on the historical temperature, predict the student performance based on the student performance as of now, expect the employee salary based on the historical data. Based on historical data, you predict the stock value tomorrow. So it predicts the future sales trends and market demands by analyzing the past customer behavior. So based on customer habits, we too predict the demand and ready with the goods which are requested by the customer to get the more transactions, to get the more benefit from those transactions. Then customer segmentation. It groups the customers by shared traits to help marketing teams launch hyper-targeted campaigns, like OTT people who are interested on family stories, interested in love stories, interested in horror, interested on actions. Like this, we are going to be segment the customers. Like customers interested on mobile phone purchase, people interested on apparels, people interested in dressing, interested in footwear, interested in other things. Like this, we are able to segment the customers so that the platforms will be ready to provide the content or facility or goods for which maximum people are asking. They will be ready with that so that their revenue will be increased, their business size will be increased. Then fraud detection, maybe the transaction fraudulent, so it spots unusual financial patterns and anomalies instantly to prevent credit card or insurance fraud. So here we to say a fraudulent, the fraudulent transaction or genuine transaction, so that the financial organizations like banking system will alert their customers to block the card and to be very careful to reduce the damage happened from the fraudulent transaction. Even spam mail detection, ham mail detection is also required. We will be comfort with the ham mail, but the problem with the spam mail, so that the customer, the every mail user will be alert and will protect their important information from unauthorized access. Optimized operations, stating that what is the smooth flow, what is the process to be followed, where the minimum time is required, minimum efforts are required to complete a chain process that started the inception and ends with the greater results. Competitive edge is also one of the important advantage from data mining, where uncovers the gaps in the market and emerging consumer preferences before competitors notice them. So every domain is a competition. So if you want to be number one in your domain, if you want to gain the more profit, if you want to have a greater scalability, you must be use these data mining techniques to be number one in the market, with forecasting, with segmentation, with security, with implementing optimization. Your business will be always number one in the world. Here we have raw big data, which is very huge in size, which is unstructured, which is unorganized. By make use of data mining process, you will be converted into a structured one, a organized one, as a meaningful pattern which you can obtain from data mining techniques. Through this obtained patterns, the business will be smarter, decisions will be very precise, and customers will be happy with your services. There are great many real world examples with respect to industry where data mining usage is very important. Then we will deal with healthcare, which is very prominent domain, where predicting the patient readmission rates and identifying early signs of disease outbreaks, that's going to be save a lot of time, that's going to be reduce the time, that's going to be reduce the efforts, that's going to be reduce the monetary value involved, that saves the lives of the great many people. So the disease prediction, disease classification, and probability of this particular disease, and the size of the people coming to this particular category to be happened and to be done with the data mining, that's going to be saves lot of lives, it's going to be reduce efforts, it's going to be the save the monetary value. That's an important pattern. So if anything goes wrong, the loss in terms of lives in healthcare, so always true positive is the important factor. True positive, true negative are the targets to avoid false positive and false negative. Then we will with the retail and e-commerce domain, where arranging these store layouts or online recommendations based on items frequently bought together. So based on customer habits, the particular online selling platform will be ready with the items on which customer is interested, so that the revenue will be increased and the scalability of the business is also going to be increased. Then comes to finance domain, where analyzing the credit card spending patterns in real time to identify and to block the fraudulent transactions. So different customers are there with a banking organization, so they have to analyze what are the particular transactions done by customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, and based on their transactions properties and the habits, they are going to be segment the customers. Based on them, the organization will offer some benefits to increase the customer satisfactory level and to increase the size of the customers, through which their banking transactions can be improved and revenue can be increased. At the same time, the organization, like financial organization and banking organization, has to equip with the mechanism that can spot and that can block fraudulent transaction, to protect the credit card information, to protect the customer's monetary value, and the customers will be happy at the end of the day. Then deal with the telecommunications to identify patterns that is signal a customer is about to cancel the service because of the particular satisfactory unsatisfactory levels. Here it's going to be see the type of customer and are they continuing with the service or not. If customer is not happy, the organization has to focus on them and to retain them by providing the smoothless services. Here, in the data mining, there is an important keyword called the pattern, is an underlying structure, a relationship, a recurring trend. This pattern is having the weightage in this aspect. Instead of looking at individual data points, data mining algorithms analyze millions of records to find regularities that are mathematically significant, showing the interest and meaning and giving information understandable, so it's interpretable and actionable for decision making. So this pattern is helping for significance, helping for interpretation, helping for taking the decision which is very precise in the context. The data mining is closely associated with emerging words or courses titled machine learning and artificial intelligence. All these three components like data mining, machine learning, AI is well associated with computer science. And a data science is a particular context and domain associated with all these three courses, and is doing its job by making use of these three components. So AI is the superset having machine learning and data mining. Machine learning is also superset having the member called data mining. So AI is the action, ML is the prediction, and DM is the discovery. AI is the broad discipline of creating systems that mimic human cognition, stating that irrespective of the time domain you are in, era you are in, like 2026 we are in, 2046, 2066, we have to believe that the human being is greater in the storage, in the reasoning process, in the decision making, with the flexibility, with the ability to adapt to the new situation, and they are greater at reasoning process, and they are better at concluding or taking the decision. Though the configuration of the computing system is enhancing, the softwares are enhancing, they are creating agents to perform autonomous systems, but even then we have to believe that the human being is greater. So AI is study of techniques to build the systems which are able to perform as greater as the human being is performing in terms of decision making, in terms of reasoning. So AI is superset having machine learning. Machine learning is meant for prediction. It is the subset of AI enabling the computers to learn and to predict from the data without explicit programming. So learn from the existing one and predict or forecast the future one with the automation process where explicit program is avoided. Comes to data mining, it is the part of machine learning. Data mining is for discovery of important pattern. That is why data mining is also called knowledge discovery. Uncovers hidden patterns in massive data set, because we have the huge data set which is unstructured, unorganized. By making use of data mining, we are able to extract important patterns. Here we will use ML algorithms that power modern data mining by automating complex pattern recognition. So ML can be used for prediction, it can be used for classification, it's also used for clustering, and also having important quality called reinforcement learning. Here data mining is also named as discovery. Discovery is required in a huge data set to discover important patterns which will be used for decision making. Here data mining is the process of extracting actionable insights, anomalies, and correlations from vast quantities of data. Actionable insights called patterns, information which are useful for taking the decision, whether this particular facility to be continued or to be refined or to be dropped. Like that, it is actionable insight. Anomaly, stating that whether it is spam mail or ham mail, it is a fraudulent transaction or a genuine transaction. And correlations from vast quantities of data. Correlation stating that if a person buy the bread, the person will buy the butter in the maximum cases. It is called correlation. So when selling platform has to ready with the bread as well as the butter. The key techniques involved in data mining, it includes classification, is stating that it's a ham mail or a spam mail, or stating that it's a fraudulent transaction or genuine transaction. And clustering, stating that what are the people comes under segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, like OTT clustering, stating that the people interested on family stories, interested on love stories, interested on comedy stories, interested on action stories. And association rule mining, stating that how A implied B, stating that if the person buys the A, and definitely will buy B, stating that the association and correlation between items. Here, the goal of data mining is analysis to discover unknowns, that extracting the important patterns that humans may not think to search for. Without data mining process, it is difficult to identify important patterns and to extract them required to take the decisions precisely. The machine learning is the component. It is superset for data mining. So machine learning is for prediction. The machine learning applies algorithms to learn from historical data what we have and allowing the systems to improve autonomously and make predictions on new information. So learn from existing data and predict the future one. So predict the tomorrow's temperature, predict the tomorrow's rainfall, predict the next semester student performance, predict the employee salary, predict the plat value at Bachpalli, predict the plat value at Banjara Hills, predict the value at LB Nagar based on historical data what you have with you. It uses regression techniques. The key concepts of machine learning, it is that working with the labeled data is called supervised learning. Working with unlabeled data is called unsupervised learning. The third type of them is reinforcement learning, where it is like trial and error, question and answer. Based on the quality of answer, you are going to be awarded. Based on your response, you are going to be awarded, and deciding that how far the learning is happened and how much learning is still required to improve the quality of the response, the quality of the answer. It is on reinforcement learning. The game playing is reinforcement learning. Segmentation is example for unsupervised learning. Classifying the mail is like ham or spam is used like supervised learning. The goal of machine learning is moving beyond observations and to predictive reporting, and such as predicting the customer churn or fraudulent transactions, where machine learning can use three types of learning like supervised for labeled data, unsupervised for unlabeled data, and reinforcement for trial and error category, like game playing. The third category of component here it is the superset for machine learning and data mining is artificial intelligence. It is for action autonomously, like a human being or expert who are able to take the decisions very precisely, and all the decisions are very accurate. The overall accuracy is maximum. AI is overarching the goal of building smart machines that are capable of mimicking human thought and taking autonomous actions with reasoning capability, with predicting capability, with probability capability, and which are able to store the information, memorizing them, and reasoning, and they are good at taking the actionable decisions which are very precise. So here, like how doctor can say is this particular patient is suffering from this particular disease based on the symptoms. Once the disease name is properly coined and the treatment started, and medication will be started by giving the prescription, so that the customer is going to be I mean to say, the patient is going to be recover quickly from the particular disease, and life is safe. The key concepts of this here AI used to use the deep learning is for working with unstructured data, working with the huge data where feature extraction is autonomous and the decisions are very accurate. Here, the goal of this AI is to create functioning autonomous systems such as self-driving cars, generative AI chatbots, and voice assistants, which are ready to take the query from the user and giving the proper answer in automation process, and working all the time 24 by 7 by 365. Here, the key differences we can glance with reference to AI, ML, and DM. So the core goal of data mining is to uncover hidden patterns. Machine learning builds predictive models to predict the future trends based on existing trend. Human factor data mining requires human interpretation to conduct various steps of data mining, but machine learning operates autonomously, and after training the program, they are good at working autonomously to perform classification, to perform predictions, to perform clustering, to perform reinforcement task. The data size, data mining needs massive data sets to identify important patterns to take the decision. But with machine learning can work on small data. When the data is used, normally we can work on with deep learning where the data is huge in size and unstructured, unorganized, especially images, signals, audio, the text one. When it is unstructured, unorganized, deep learning is the best one to take the better features extraction, better selection, and better classification and prediction also. In real world usage, data mining identifies retail buying trends of the customers. Based on them, the retail stores will take the decisions. Machine learning is powers self-driving cars, which works on autonomously. So in this context, we have the raw data initially, and data mining is going to be perform pattern discovery, and machine learning is for predicting the future trends, and AI is for automated action, which is very efficient than machine learning, is efficient than data mining. AI will make use of deep learning, machine learning, data mining to build AI related systems which are working autonomously with the greater results. AI is the broad overarching field of creating systems that can mimic human intelligence, good at different contexts, while machine learning and data mining are specific subsets and tools used within that field to achieve it, and to achieve the target which are given for them. In the illustration, if you see that AI is a superset having elements like ML and data mining. ML is the superset for data mining. So data mining is the tool extracting hidden patterns which are meaningful to take the decision. AI is the software that learns from the data and ready for classification, regression, and clustering. Based on exercise it has done so far and learning happened so far. Based on supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning techniques. Whereas AI is a broad goal that mimic human intelligence and reasoning process, which works autonomously and giving decisions very precisely. The core types of patterns found in data is mining associations, like affinity analysis, that items that frequently occur together in a single transaction. Example, men who buy diapers for their kids at weekends are most likely to have the beer, especially young fatherhood follows this formula. Who buy diaper will buy beer 70% in their carts for the weekend. Second category, customers who buy bread also buy cheese or butter. So this is the combination that happens. It is association. The clustering is also called grouping. This grouping is natural segments of data points that share highly similar characteristics without a prior label. So for this, labeling is not required. Segmentation happens based on the commonality of habits. Example, grouping the customers into bargain customers from luxury customers. The bargain customers will bargain the transaction is going to be freezed. Luxury without any bargain, these type of people are going to be buy the goods directly. Then classification predictions stating that distinct structures that sort new data into predefined known categories like a spam mail or ham mail, or a fraudulent transaction or a genuine transaction, like that it's going to be happen. It's going to be classify different categories, category A, category B, category C, based on the marks obtained by the students in the assessment. Then stating example for this is sorting emails automatically into spam or inbox one, or URL detection, phishing URL detection based on features of the URL received. Then sequential patterns called the time series. The time series pattern, the trends, relationships, or the one event consistently triggers or leads to the another over specific timeline. A customer buys a smartphone, then buys a phone case within 48 hours to protect their expensive component, smartphone. So these sequential patterns is required to study. Time series applications like weather forecasting, rainfall forecasting, stock value forecasting, all these are all comes under time series category where sequential patterns is required. Then anomalies is called outliers, means minor components are different from deviating from the majority components. So data points that completely deviate from the established normal pattern of the rest of the data set. So fraudulent transaction is deviated from the regular transactions. A spam mail is deviated from the majority of ham mails. A sudden 1 lakh transactions done on this particular customer transaction card. Normally, the customer will do transaction for 5,000, 10,000 in a transaction. But there is a sudden transaction for 1 lakh rupee, 50,000 rupee, 1.5 lakh rupee. It treated as a fraudulent transaction, and that alerts the customer to block it immediately. What makes a pattern valid? So not every recurring trend is useful. Okay, data mining tools use specific mathematical metrics to filter out random noise and ensure a pattern is actually valuable and meaningful. The is measured with certainty. How could you say the pattern is valid? When the pattern is having certainty, it is a valid. What is certainty? Defined as confidence, accuracy. How reliably the pattern repeats itself across the entire data set is a certainty. It's a confidence in the overall correct decision is made. Then utility is also called support value. How frequently the pattern appears, proving it represents a major trend rather than a one-time fluke. So it is appearing very frequently, whose presence is high frequent rather than appearing for once. It is a utility, the support value. The novelty, the pattern must reveal something unexpected or unknown rather than stating the obvious. So there must be some new presence in this context. So accuracy state the percentage of correctly predefined and predicted instances out of all predictions across the entire data set. So there are 10 test cases. Out of 10, 9 test cases are true positive. So 9 by 10, it is the accuracy, overall preciseness. While it gives an excellent summary of average performance, it does not reveal the reliability of a single individual prediction. Then called confidence. In association rule, if a customer buys bread, how confident that they will buy the butter also? The confidence represents the conditional probability of the rule. What is the conditional probability involved? Whenever a customer buys a bread, definitely will buy a butter. When the customer will buy a diaper, will definitely buy a beer for the weekend. That is the confidence. is required. It is to be associated when A then implied B. In predictive models, it is the probability score indicating how strongly the algorithm believes its prediction is correct. Okay, based on humidity, based on the temperature, precipitation, how we are going to be predict the rainfall, it is the conditional probability where Bayes theorem occurs. Then certainty is statistical measure how confident the model is in its own the individual decision. So how the customer is buying a bread, not focusing on butter. How the customer individually buying a diaper is not associated with the beer. Thus the certainty states the presence of single transaction item. High confidence does not always guarantee high accuracy. So models can sometimes be extremely confident, but their performance will not be up to the mark. So confidence is not directly proportional to the high accuracy. Here we have the crucial metrics to say support and confidence for association rule mining, where support state how frequently a rule appears in the data set, that item set is present, like bread with the butter, the diaper with the beer. Confidence, the measure of the certainty for the rule, where the confidence is defined as A implied B, then support of A intersection B divides with support of A. The A can be beer and B, A can be the diaper, B can be beer. Another example, A can be bread and B can be butter. Then accuracy and precision, it's stating the classification models where the precision, how good they are predicting the positive things. They are positive with respect to this particular symptom. So there are 10 positive cases, out of which you predicted for 9 cases. The precision is total is 10, but the 9 positive you made it. 1 positive case you left it. So it is defined as the ratio of correctly predicted positive observations to all predicted positives. Okay, there are 10 positive cases, out of which if you made 9, this is 9 by 10. Recall the ratio of the correctly predicted positive to all actual observations. Means in precision case, true positive by total positives. Comes to recall case, the true positives divides with true positive and false positive also. So you deal with the positive cases with precision, deal with all possibilities with the recall case. So in this critical, in safety critical areas like medical diagnosis, where we are looking for all the true positive cases. So here the precision and recall should be 100%, through which the overall accuracy should be 100%. Then comes to this calibration is evaluates whether the model's confidence scores reflect the true statistical probabilities. A perfectly calibrated model that outputs an 80% confidence score will be correct exactly in 80% of the time. And still we can improve it for making 100% confidence. This is about basic information and fundamentals of data mining. Thank you for your attention.